Hello guys, I'm Brendan. So I'm making some railings. Could do with some more lighting. The lighting's a bit poor. That's something to work on. Anyway, when I'm making railings, I'm making this jig on the wall. It's 90 degrees across the bottom. I can clamp everything to it. I find this is the best way to make railings. So I've got my packers. There's a lot of railings to make, so I'm not messing about. I just sit them on. Look, I've got packers here. That's lifted a bit, but I'm not bothered. It's not an issue. Got packers to rest my box section on. Packers. But the thing with this is, every hole is a 28mm hole drilled through the top of the box section and through the bottom. So there's a lot of drilling. A lot of drilling. But I just feel like this is the best way to set it up, by drilling them. So that's got, right, forget the 12mm. They're 12mm. They're just welded, and then I'm just going to weld a bit on the bottom, and it stops there. Look, you can see. So I've only just put them on, and how I put them on, I wanted to show you this as well. So this is my jig. Let's have a look. So I held that there, so we can, I've only got one hand, but yeah, so I held my bar on and tack it in place, and I'll put another bar in there, and if you look, it's got like an inch on the top, an inch or so on the bottom, and then when I put it back in, I weld it on, and then my jig, so I weld it on, tack it on top and bottom, and then my jig just falls away because of how I've made my jig. And then you can just go from one to another. So all these 16mm were put on first. And if you look, the 16mm are on the diamond. So we've got the diamond pointing forward, but the 12mm is on the flat. And that gives you a bit of an extra dimension with the light. Once they're all painted, you get different shades, and you can even see there's different shades there. Look, you can even see that's lit and that's not. So it's a little trick to make it look more fancier, just by just by turning the bar. So, and again, the 12mm I've put on afterwards. It's all the 16mm I've put on first. I've already welded under there. This still needs welding on the top. And they're just having 25mm balls on there, steel balls. And that's it. Once they've got the bottom bits in, and I've already fit some of these on the job, it looks good, but they're really, really heavy. So make your life easy, drill your holes. The reason why I drill the holes is it's actually a bit more work, or a lot more work, and I use a rotor broach magnet drill bit in my pedestal drill. I've got a Morse taper with a harbour what will hold a magnet drill bit, a rotor broach cutter. The reason why I do this is because if you had to put all these 3-inch 75mm bits on, they're not going to 100% line up with this. I just find it easier to drill everything and then just slide a full bar straight through. All the bars are here, look. So they're just full size. If you look at that, they're just full size, so they go straight through. So I always drill a bit. I've had to add a bit on. That was because some of them are 2.5 meters on one part of the job, and he's asked me, and I've made all the 2.5s, prepped them, and then he says, "Oh, can you do the 2.6s first on this other part?" So I've used the ones I've prepped, added 100mm on. I'll grind that. You won't be able to see that when I've done. So instead of me drilling all the others just to get the job moving, I use the 2.5s. Railings, all the prepped. It's all 100mm spacings anyway. I try to stick to 100mm as often as I can, and if it's not 100mm, I get a calculator and I'll just say it was like 2650. I'd say 2650 divided by 26, and then you can do it two ways. You can do it divided by 25 or 26 or 26 or 27. So then you're going to get a few mil over the 100 or a few mil under the 100, if that makes sense. But with the 16mm bar, I like it to be over the 100. Minimum 100, but over the 100 when it's 16. If it was just 12, I wouldn't want to be having it over 100 spacing, because your gap's too wide and these are too skinny. So, but anyway, the reason why they've got these so close, which is about every 50mm, is because they've got little dogs, and I have to measure the dog's head. But yeah, if you're making railings and you're doing them regularly, make yourself a 90 degrees jig. So it's got a lip what I can clamp to sideways, lip that I can clamp to on the bottom, and everything else is flat behind it. Probably see it a bit easier here. So everything, that's 40mm, everything can sit on there, wedge, butt up to that, and then you know all this is all level. So it's all bolted to the wall, welded to the bench. Yeah, the bench is messy, a paint in here as well. It's not ideal, but that's what we've got to do. So yeah, this is a little insight into how I efficiently and quickly make railings. So I've got to weld this up now. I've got to spin it round, weld on the back. Normally I wouldn't just weld everything on this side, because the whole thing will bend like a banana. But by keeping it clamped to the job, it kind of holds it in place. But I'm spinning it round, I'm going to weld all the other side, so if the railing does bend a bit with welding, it will bend back, because I've got all the welding on the other side to do. But this is through experience why I know I'll be okay. Plus, like I say, clamp it, it stops it moving as much. And yeah, I think that's all I can give you for this one. I'll keep you updated on other wrought iron stuff I do. I'll catch you in the next video. Please subscribe to my channel.